So Project Veritas is a right-wing group, and they try to do these exposés on the left where they have these like hidden camera things, and they go after people and they try to get them to like be comfy and relaxed and to like let it all hang out, and then they take things out of context and go, aha, gotcha. My favorite one is they just did it to some Bernie Sanders staffer, and the dude, I guess the dude was a communist or whatever. Who cares? And they were like, yeah, got him. And this was one of those instances where even corporate media, and corporate media hates Bernie, but even they were like, yeah, I don't care. Who cares? So, they don't always knock it out of the park, but sometimes they get stories that catch on. There was the Planned Parenthood one from a long time ago. And now we have one that for whatever reason it caught on. There's an ABC reporter by the name of David Wright, and he was talking to one of these undercover Project Veritas people, and let's see what they caught him saying, and then we'll discuss.
I don't think we're terribly interested in the commercial imperative is incompatible with news. We don't hold him to account. We also don't give him credit for what things he does do.
Would you consider yourself a Democrat socialist? Yeah.
More than that, I'd consider myself a socialist.
Today we continue our investigation of exposing the corruption inside ABC News. What you're about to see is one of ABC's veteran news correspondents detailing how and why ABC twists their news narrative. We met correspondent David Wright while he was covering the Democratic presidential primary in New Hampshire. He says his network is misinforming voters during one of the most important elections in our country's history.
Well, terrible. I feel like it's like the truth suffers. The voters are poorly informed, and people also have the opportunity to tune in to whatever they want to hear. Right. And so there's no I don't know. There's no upside in our bosses don't see an upside in doing the job that we're supposed to do, which is to speak truth to power and hold people to account.
A colleague of mine fucked up on Kobe Bryant and said that all of his daughters died in a helicopter crash. And that was he just and got bad information and reported bad information and has paid the price for it. He got suspended. But, I don't know. The fake news abounds. Like there are problems with the truth these days.
We don't hold him to account. We also don't give him credit for what things he does do. Again, I think some of that, at least in where the place that I work and the places like it, is that with Trump, we're interested in three things. We're interested in the outrage of the day, the investigation, and kind of the palace intrigue of who's backstabbing who. Right. Beyond that, we don't really cover the guy.
Wright isn't just some ABC News clerk. After graduating magna cum laude from Harvard, he went on to earn a master's at Oxford before joining ABC News in 2000 as a correspondent. So when Wright says ABC's commercial imperative is incompatible with news, we listen.
It became like a profit center, a promotion center. Like now, it's like you can't watch Good Morning America without there being a Disney princess or a Marvel Avenger appearing. It's all self-promotion, right? And promotion of the company, and also promotion of individuals within the company, as opposed to a kind of dedication to the story and a commitment to telling stories that we need to tell, but that are maybe hard to tell. The commercial imperative is incompatible with news. So, real people
talk about practical issues when they're thinking about a candidate. I want to go back in the workforce. I can't afford child care, or I need medical care for whatever. So those things aren't TV friendly. Yeah. We want to focus on impeachment. We want to focus on the big on, but the things that help people make up their minds are real.
But I think that we don't have the bandwidth to give everybody a fair shot, and we should. And we're in this awkward moment where, and created by this awkward moment, we have the president, and we can't figure out how to challenge him.
Wright's anti-Trump bias is clear. Not surprising, considering his politics.
Would you consider yourself a Democrat socialist? Yeah.
More than that, I'd consider myself a socialist. I think there should be national health insurance. I'm totally fine with reining in corporations. I think there are too many billionaires, and I think that there's a wealth gap. That's a problem.
ABC, after this story dropped, fired him. So just so everybody understands, there have been multiple people that work at giant news organizations in the past couple weeks who've accused the person who would be our first Jewish president of being a Nazi. Chris Matthews did it. Mark Levin did it. One works for NBC, MSNBC, NBC. The other one works for Fox News, and maybe The Blaze too. And they compared Bernie Sanders clearly to Nazis, and they didn't get nothing but a slap on the wrist in Chris Matthews' case. Nothing in the case of Mark Levin. Nothing. That's fine, but just admitting what your beliefs are openly and honestly, that you deserve to get fired for that. Hold on. Wait a second. Everybody in media should do what he just did right there. I want to know what all of them are thinking. I want them to come at, hey, I consider myself a centrist and I'm a Kamala supporter. Hey, I'm a libertarian and my favorite politician is Rand Paul. Hey, I was a huge Hillary Clinton supporter and, I consider myself socially liberal but fiscally conservative. Every single person in media should be open and honest and upfront about what their beliefs are, because that's true. That's the truth. That's full disclosure. That's why when you watch this show, I tell you all the time, I'll call myself populist left or libertarian left or a believer in social democracy, and my presidential candidate that I support is Bernie Sanders. See, that's called honesty. Now, you couldn't like that or not like that. It's totally fine. Plenty of people don't like it. Totally cool. But I'm not hiding anything from you. I'm putting it all out there. Now, this guy, hearing David Wright talk, my guess is he would be totally fine with letting everybody know in one of his columns or whatever, in the headline or as a header on, when he writes an article, I consider myself a socialist. I'm sure he'd be totally fine with that. But it's the mantra of corporate media to do fake neutrality, where everybody has to pretend we are all robots. None of us have any beliefs or any opinions at all. We are totally objective. And the funny thing is they conflate objectivity and neutrality. They're not the same thing. Neutrality means always saying everything is 50-50, and objectivity just means telling the truth. They conflate those things. They think neutrality is objectivity, and it's not. And so they want everybody, make sure you don't let anybody know you've ever had an opinion ever, and just write articles. And that's ridiculous. And, it's really funny that, so Project Veritas is so outraged about this. Okay, are you outraged about the fact that, I don't know, Sean Hannity is a Republican and he's a conservative and he has a show on a major network? If it's a problem that this guy's a socialist, shouldn't it also be a problem that guy's a Republican and a conservative? And you can fill in the blank with, whatever host you want to. Are you mad that Neil Cavuto is a conservative? See, it's funny because all they're trying to, bias. But it's not, and by the way, he's also thoroughly critiquing the media in a way that many right-wingers have done before too, and correctly, by the way. So let's go through some of that. They fired him. I can't believe they fired him over this. That's insanity. Okay. So he says, I love this and how they try to make it out like this guy's bad. He says, we don't hold Trump to account. We also don't give him credit when he deserves it. Hold on, Project Veritas. Shouldn't you be doing a big thing like Breaking! ABC News reporter thinks we should be more fair to Trump. That's a criticism I've made on this show before. And I think his producer goes on to make the point, hey, listen, man, real people care about real issues, and we're out here talking about impeachment. We're out here talking about mean tweets and the news of the day and who's backstabbing who in the administration. And that's nonsense. That's silly. When we attack him over that, it makes him stronger, you know? And we don't talk about issues. We don't go after him. We don't hold him to account on actual issues, and we don't give him credit on actual issues. You know, my guess is a guy like David Wright would say something like, he should have gotten more credit for the First Step Act, or he should have got more credit for killing TPP. Like, that's what he's saying. He's like, let's be more substantive and give credit where it's due and also critique where it's due on important issues like healthcare. Like, I'm sure David Wright is aware of the fact that 7 million people lost their health insurance under Trump. That's something to critique. That's substantive. And what he's saying is we don't do that. We focus on the dumb stuff, the Mueller report, impeachment, the tweets of the day. So that is a totally fair criticism and one that many people on the right have made. It's unbelievable that this unfolded the way it did. He goes on to say the media doesn't speak truth to power and it doesn't hold people to account. Isn't that what the right says all the time? Oh my God, the media is not, telling the truth. The media is just a bunch of hacks. That's what he's saying. He says ABC went on to become a profit and promotion center. Again, this is exactly what you guys make this point all the time, right-wingers. And now somebody says, yeah, I agree with you on that. And you're like, aha, gotcha. What do you mean? He's agreeing with you on something. So yeah, this is really upsetting. It really is, because it shows, I don't know why people fold so easy to like BS fake outrage. It's not that hard to be like, no. Just be like, no, wrong. No, I don't care. Next. That's all you got to do instead of, oh, you have a video of somebody being completely reasonable. Fired. Listen, I would say even to people who are right-wingers, even to people who might be fans of this Project Veritas stuff, go back, watch that video 3 or 4 times, and then tell me you don't think this guy is actually one of the good ones. Okay, there's plenty of people in corporate media who I despise and they despise, and we'll go after them all day with a smile on our faces. But this guy saying stuff like, we don't hold Trump to account on serious issues. We also don't give him credit when he deserves it. The media doesn't speak truth to power. They don't hold powerful people to account. And, I think the big thing that the right is mad about is, he calls himself a democratic socialist, or he says, I'm even beyond that, I'm a socialist. So what? So what? I'm not even a socialist. Like I said, I'm a social democrat, but I don't care that this guy's to the left of me. It's fine. And it's fine to have people to the right of me. I just want full disclosure. And I know this guy has no problem doing full disclosure. So really, this isn't an expose of David Wright. This is more of an expose of ABC News. If this story was framed in that way, I think it would be a hell of a lot better. But I read the comment section on this video, and all these people are like hating on David Wright and cheering the fact that he got fired. And it's like, wow, so you guys are the same. You're totally part of the cancel culture that you claim to despise. That's what it is. You're completely part of the cancel culture that you claim to despise. Because if you want this guy fired, you're nothing but a snowflake. So that's really upsetting, man. And I feel really bad for David Wright. I hope he finds a new job, and I hope he's all right, because this is not okay. He said nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. He's really honest. And actually, after reading this, it makes me want to go back and look at some of his work over the years, because he appears to have his mind in the exact right place.